Having a wonderful afternoon. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen everybody, so happy to be back. I appreciate everybody coming back around again. I know I missed you guys last week, but I'm here this week and I have a fun personal shopper show for you guys this week. Lots of fun items. I've got lots of memory wire and I have designer bead blends. I'm super excited to show those to you. I love our bead blends. They're some of my very favorite things to show off, and I'm really excited to show you. I have a whole box full here that we're going to go through. So looking forward to everything we've got going on. Guys, be sure that you are checking out the website. I have it pulled up over here. We have the deal of the week. You don't want to miss that. They are some really cool mom charms. You definitely want to take advantage of those. Add those to your cart. And we also have dollar days where you can save over the weekend, so you want to take advantage of that as well. Now, for those of you who are new here, first and foremost, welcome in. We're happy to have you. Second of all, want to let you know it is very easy to shop with us while you are hanging out. You're going to notice on the side of your screen a shopping cart. You can click on that at any point. It's going to bring up all of the information about all the items that I have in today's show as we're going through them. So without further ado, I'll talk a little bit more about the shopping as we go, but I don't want to keep you on me too long because I want you guys to see all the cool things I have in the show today. Hey Terry, hey Debbie, how are ya? Hi Gina. Michelle is here taking good care of us today as always. Hi Susanna. All right, I'm going to turn you guys around and we're going to go ahead and take a look. Let's get started with the bead mix. We'll talk about memory wire here in a second, but let's start out with something pretty. You want to, a little bit of eye candy, always a good thing to start with here. So let me decide which one to pull out. I'm going to use this one first because this is the one that I had in the teaser pick for today's show. I want to show it to you. It's so pretty. I love this. Love, love, love. Look how pretty this is. Oh my goodness. This is the designer bead blend in, I cannot remember the name of it. I should have written it down. I did not. But this one has all of these beautiful little ladybugs. I tried to click on the on Michelle's little picture at the top and I forgot that doesn't work for me. It works for you guys, but it doesn't work for me. So I've got this really pretty blend. Now, for those of you who might just be joining us, or maybe you've never done a personal shopper show with me before, the personal shopper shows, we don't actually do a project. We just go through and look at some of my very favorite things that you can find on artbeads.com. And these designer blends are bead mixes that our design team put together. So these have been hand selected. This is the retro kitchen mix. I love that. Are you sure this is the retro kitchen mix? I don't think it is. I think this is a different one. It's weird because on my little packages, I don't get the full name. I think this one was called something different. I'm not sure. Anyway, as I was saying, so these are put together by our design team. These are all hand selected, beautiful check glass mixes, and they are all, in fact, check glass beads. A lot of these check glass beads, this is the first time that they have seen the light of day since they were packaged up from the Czech Republic and shipped over. So these are first run. A lot of these are vintage. They have not been picked over or pulled through. So these are not just like leftovers or remnants. These are, as I said, first run check glass beads. Absolutely beautiful. I love this one. This one's perfect for spring. There are some of these little sweater beads. That's what we call these. I don't know what they're actually called, but they have that really cool kind of like sweater print on them. So pretty. There are a bunch of little ladybugs in blue. Really beautiful. I love these guys right here. They're so pretty. Love that. There's a lot of check fire polish in this one. There are some little cube beads that have like the pinch on them. There are these triangle beads, ladybug mix. These are so pretty. Love that. Just a really pretty mix. Now, I have a ton of gorgeous mixes in today's show. I just started out with this one because this is the one that I was really drawn to immediately. I put this one in the teaser pick. I love the blues and the mint green that are in this one. There are some gorgeous bellflowers in this as well, which is one of the beads that I really love. Debbie says, wow, that is really different and cool. I agree. It's a really awesome mix. So Super, super pretty. All right, now while you are taking a look at this beautiful bead mix, let's do a little bit more information about the shopping, because I just kind of touched on it for just a second, but everybody is showing up now, so we're going to talk about it. If you want to shop during today's show, which I hope you do, I hope you take advantage of our deal of the week. I hope you take advantage of our dollar days and all of the other things that we've got going on, but you will notice that on the side of your screen, there is a shopping cart. You can click on that shopping cart at any point during today's show, and it's going to bring up this mix plus all of the other mixes, all of the wire, all the things that I have in the show today. And you can add those to your cart, and you can check out all while still watching the show. It just makes me a little bit smaller. Now, when you get finished, if you'll click on me, it'll make me big again, so you don't have to navigate away, which is fantastic. If you are joining us from Facebook, you can also shop on Facebook. You're going to notice that up here in the top of your screen, there's going to be a little text bar. You can type in the codes for each one of the items, and it'll send you a link directly to your messenger. So that makes it easy for you to shop as well if you are joining us that way. However, if you want to be part of the conversation and hang out in this amazing community and chit chat with everybody, you need to come over to artbeads.com to do that. So I can't see your comments if you're joining us from Facebook. Just keep that in mind. That's why we really want to wow, I'm having a hard time with words today. I'd like to invite you, my gosh, it's definitely a Friday afternoon, invite you to come over to artbeads.com and watch the show that way. All right, so let's move on, because I have a ton of these designer blends in the show today, but I have other things as well. And I really want to talk about memory wire, because what a wonderful pair, right? Blends and memory wire. So I'm going to scoot this out of the way just for now, because I can't clean this up right this second. So I'm just going to kind of sweep that over to the side here. And we're going to talk about memory wire and why memory wire is fantastic. It is quite literally instant gratification jewelry. And I've got several different versions of memory wire in the show today. I'm actually going to pull them all out here. I think this is a great way to get started. If you are new, or you've never worked with memory wire, or you are just getting started making jewelry, memory wire is a great place to start, because all you need to have is a pair of pliers and a cutter to use the wire. You don't have to have any other skills. This is really easy to use, and you can come up with some really cool designs. And so if you're thinking about maybe throwing some of the bead blends in your cart, maybe think of ways that you're going to be using those blends. So I got a couple of memory wire options here. This is memory wire that is in necklace size. So this is much bigger than obviously your bracelet sizes, though it is a little misleading, because in the package it doesn't look big enough to create a necklace. You're going to have to trust me on this one. It absolutely is. Memory wire is tempered steel, so it retains its shape, is very flexible, very much like a slinky, right? Very similar to a slinky. It is tempered steel. It is always going to stay in this round shape unless you do something crazy to it, but we're not talking about doing anything crazy to it. We're talking about just stringing straight onto it, and it is going to retain that shape. However, when you add beads to the wires, particularly with your necklace memory wire, it's going to open up a bit. So though this looks like it would choke you to death, once you start adding the beads to it and you add some weight to it, it is really going to open up, and it is going to create a nice necklace for you that is always going to have this round shape. Now, the one that I have in the show today is flat, and that might be new to some of you. I'm not going to take this out of the package, but I do want to show it to you from the side so that you can see. You see that flat surface? That's exactly why this is called flat, because this is not round. It is rectangular in nature, nice and flat. It has a surface that you can actually wire wrap onto. So you can thread beads onto this because it's nice and thin. It's thin enough to fit through most beads. However, if you want to wire wrap and set beads on the surface of this, it makes it really cool. So it kind of opens up the design possibilities with this one. which I think is pretty awesome. So I have the necklace size in the show, and then I have a couple of different of the bracelet sizes in the show. I have the round in a really big pack, and then round in a smaller pack. This is just large bracelet size, which is going to accommodate just about all bracelet sizes. That's another great thing about it, is that you don't have to have the exact size for a bracelet, because this is going to just stay in this ring. Now, obviously, the heavier the beads you add to it, the more it's going to kind of expand for you. But another great thing that you can do with this is cut this into sections and use the sections. So let's say you're creating a design and you need a curve for something, right? You just need a little small curved component. You can cut part of this and use it in your design, and it is going to still retain that shape, even though it is not a full ring, which is awesome. Now, speaking of rings, I do have ring size in the show as well. So if you want to make wine charms, or you want to make rings with your memory wire, the ring size is really good for that. Mine is a little short because I've used quite a bit of it. You will get more than this for sure in your package, but works exactly the same way as all of the others. You just need to have a memory wire cutter tool, which I also have in the show. I'm going to show you here in just a second, and some round nose pliers, and you're good to go, because finishing off the ends can be as simple as just turning a loop. Let me show you. Right, just turning a loop at the end. I double my loops just because I kind of like that a little bit more. To me, it's a little bit safer than just the single loop, as far as, you know, not being able to open up on you. But it really is super simple to use any of these, the bracelets, the rings, the necklace size. You're going to have a lot of fun creating with them. It's instant gratification, because all you got to do is just string your beads on. So I thought this was really the perfect pairing for those designer blends, because you can take those designer blends, all of the ones that I'm going to show you, and create some really awesome pieces. Now, before we get into the rest of the designer blends, though, I did want to show you some examples of ways that I have used the memory wire, and we are going to cut something with the cutter tool. So I have the cutter tool in the show. I'm going to show you how to use that here in just a second, but just to give you a couple of examples. So this was a strand of Dakota Stones beads that I got off of artbeads.com, and I just mixed this together with some seed beads and created a really pretty multi-strand design. And I literally just sat and strung up the beads. Like, there's nothing else to this, which makes this really awesome. How do you finish the necklace to keep it from coming off? So there's actually a couple of things that you can do. You can do the same thing here that I have done by creating the loop. That's going to keep all of the beads on. That shape is really going to stay on your neck. However, once you have a loop, you can very easily add jump rings and a clasp. So if you're worried that it is going to slip off, like if you use some of the heavier beads, you can 100% add a jump ring here, an extension chain, and a clasp. You can use your regular hardware. Even on the bracelets, you can do the same thing. So you can treat this the same way that you treat a lot of your other stringing materials, but a lot of times if you don't use beads that are crazy heavy, it will stay on your neck for sure. So I had that one put together. I have this one with some jasper beads and just some seed beads, just to create some really pretty multi-strand designs. And then I don't have to worry about what the size is, because that's going to open up and expand to fit any size. Love that. And then I have a couple of like bicone designs where I use some spacers. So you can create cuffs if you want to. If you don't want to do the continuous strand, you can just create a cuff. The cuffs are really cool, because you can just pop those on just like that. Used a bunch of bicones on this one. That was really cool. This is another one with just the bicones and just the 2-hole spacer. So many possibilities with the memory wire. It's a lot of fun to work with, and I think that you'll have a lot of fun creating. If you've got kids or grandkids at home, or you guys get together with your family on the weekends and you want to do something creative, stock up on some memory wire and some of these mixes and just sit around, right? Watch TV, create some pieces of jewelry. I don't know, have a girls' night, get a couple of glasses of wine and create some pieces on your memory wire. It's a lot of fun, and you don't really have to have a lot of tools. So speaking of tools, you do need to have a memory wire cutter. So it is really important that if you don't have one of these, that you add one of these to your cart as well, if you're going to grab some memory wire, because you don't want to use your regular cutters on this wire, because as I mentioned, this is tempered steel and it will destroy your regular cutter tools. You got to have the right kind of cutter to cut through this. Otherwise, it is going to crack the blades and create chips and chunks out of your cutter tool blades, and it will dull them very, very quickly. So you need to be sure that you have the correct kind of cutter for this. Other than that though, you can use your regular round nose pliers. There are memory wire finishing pliers that you can use if you want to, but round nose pliers works just as well to create your loops at the end. But the cutter tool is super easy to use. You're just going to put your memory wire in there and just give it a little snip just like that. It works really easy. You don't have to use a lot of force. So if you have, if you've got weakness in your hands or any kind of dexterity issues, it's really easy to use. You don't have to worry that you have to use superhuman strength to cut your wire, even though it's steel. So that's really, really nice. I can cut again to show you. So you just place it in there and just snip. That's all there is to it. Super easy. So even though this is really hard, strong stuff, the cutter tool is stronger than it is. So definitely recommend grabbing one if you don't have anything to cut with. All right, so when you're doing all of your fabulous creating with your memory wire and your blends, I included something that I don't normally include in my personal shopper shows, but I thought that this would be a good addition, and that is a bead mat. And we have a lot of different bead mats to choose from on artbeads.com, but this is one that I really, really like. This one is super cool because it comes with the bead mat, which I may have to raise you up a little bit to see more of this. So the bead mat itself, this is the treasure mat, and it comes with the little scoop, which is my favorite thing in the entire universe when it comes to cleaning up my messes. And I'm going to show you how to use it here in just a second, because we're going to clean up the mess that I made a minute ago. But this mat is really, really nice. First of all, it's a really good size. I know you can't see all of it at the moment, but it's a really, really nice size. But what I like about it is that it has this little edge all the way around, and the edging is going to keep your beads from rolling off. With the mat that I use on a regular basis, I don't have that. So I end up with, look at all this, that I mean, I could sweep in all kinds of scraps there. Look at that. All of this extra, and my beads will roll away as well. So I always have like this area around the edge of my mat where there are things that fall off. It's not going to fall off on this. I think that's really cool. Then if you like to separate out your beads as you're working, you can put your beads in each one of these little guys right here to separate them out. So if you're doing a seed bead project and you're using several different colors, you can pour each one of your little colors into the little individual sections here. Or if you're not doing seed bead working, you can do it with regular beads as well. Put your check glass, separate it out by color or by shape or however you want to. It's really, really cool to be able to keep those in place, and they're not going to roll away, and they're not going to commingle with each other, because I don't know about you, but when it comes to seed beads, I hate it when they mix with each other, especially when it's time to clean it up, because then I have to separate them all out. So keeping them separate in the first place is really nice. So super nice little bead mat to add to your cart today while you're grabbing some memory wire and some of our beautiful blends. So I'm going to sit this to the side just for a second, and then I'll bring it back. We'll use it for today's show, but I do want to bring in the beads, and we're going to use the scoop, because what better way to see this to understand it is to use it in the show, right? So we're just going to use this to scoop up all of our beads. It makes cleaning all this up super quick and easy. So I know it's such a simple little thing, but I love it so much. All right, now I have a ton of beads that we're going to go through, but I'm going to start out with some really pretty, see how fast, right? So fast. I have some really pretty prestige bead blends I'm going to show you. We're going to start with those. So let me grab, I also have some seed beads in the show as well, but we're going to start out with some sparkle. So let's see. Is it sturdy enough to pick up with your beads in it to move from one table to the other? You know what? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It definitely has some structure to it because the lip on the edge definitely gives it a little more. I would say you probably could. It's definitely not going to stay flat. It's probably going to droop where your beads are. But I think it might be sturdy enough to do that. I mean, I probably wouldn't walk down a long hallway with it or anything. But I mean, if you're just moving from table to table, I think you'd probably be pretty safe. So, okay, let's see. So, as I mentioned, we're going to start with some sparkle. So, I have the Lavender Fields Crystal Mix. Guys, these are very similar to our designer blends. However, these are not check glass. They are crystal, but they have still been put together the same way. These have been selected by our team, and the colors have been put together for you. Absolutely love these. So, I'm going to dump this one out. Look how pretty. This one is beautiful shades of greens and purples. Absolutely adore these little mixes. And I have a couple of these. And I also have some that I put on memory wire. Now these are past little sparkle blends that we don't have anymore, but I still wanted to show you. Like if you just want instant jewelry, I took one. This one was back at Valentine's Day. And I just took it exactly like this. All these beads right here and just put them on my memory wire. Just picked a pattern. And look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Like, who wouldn't want to get that as a gift? If you got to do gifts coming up for the spring, if you're going to do, you know, maybe you've got bridal party, you've got a bridal shower, something to go to like that, and you want to do some quick gifts, memory wire and these sparkles, way to go. Super quick and easy. And there's enough beads here to create at least three rows of memory wire. So there's that one, and then I had a different color too. So the bicones and then the rounds. This one is in the rounds. So just to kind of give you an idea of the shape differences, but it's a lot of beads to work with, and it's perfect pairing with that memory wire. So pretty. So pretty. All right. So this one was the Lavender Fields. I'm going to scoop this one back up. So I've got two others to show you real quick. These are easy to clean too. Everybody's talking about the bead mat. I'm telling you, it's a good one. I love it because I really appreciate the little spaces here to keep your beads separated. This did not clean up very well. There we go. Try that again. Or I could be using the bead scoop, you know, since I went on and on about it. Okay. All right. So there are the Lavender Fields beads. So pretty. I have a different one for you. This one is the Garden Glory. So this one is a little bit different. There are greens in this one as well, but there are some beautiful blues in this one and some red and purple. So pretty. Look at that. So this one where there is the rounds, right? It's a round bead with the facets. This is bicones. So the shapes are a little bit different, but still just as much beautiful color here. Garden Glory. I love that. I love the red that's in this one. So pretty. You could almost use this one as a Christmas mix too if you wanted to, with lots of the red and green in that. Really, really pretty. Scoop this one. Quick and easy. Okay. And then I have another really beautiful purple for you guys. All right, so this one is Peaceful Purple. Look at that, so pretty. I'll dump it out for you. This one has Nicole's name written all over it. Nicole loves purple. Nicole, are you paying attention? Where are you at, Nicole? Love it. So pretty. So pretty. So this one is just different shades of purple. There are some clear with the AB finish in this as well. But gosh, that's so pretty. Really beautiful. All right. Scoop this one up. Take it away. So we've got a long ways to go here with our beads. Now don't forget, as we're looking at all of these beads, I did have a nice selection of memory wire in the show. So if you want some quick and easy stringing material to go with your beads, I definitely recommend memory wire because it's so easy to use. If you grab one of the big packs of the bracelet, you're going to have a lot to work with. But those are our beautiful crystal mixes for the day. So pretty. Love those. All right. I have 2 seed bead blends for you guys. So I'm not going to dump the seed bead blends out because I don't want to spend the rest of the day cleaning these up. But I do have 2 in 2 different sizes. And these are put together the same way our crystal mixes are put together. They are all hand selected. Color palettes are put together. So this one is the Verdigris. These are 11O seed beads, and this one is beautiful, beautiful blues and greens, and the clear ones that are in here have that gold lining. So instead of the silver lined seed beads, I will dump some of these out, but I'm not going to dump all of them out. The lined seed beads in this are gold. See if I can get you a little closer. Really pretty. So as I mentioned, a couple different shades of green. There's like a deep teal green in this one. There is some light kind of aqua blue, really nice evergreen, and then this gold lined clear is really, really pretty. And again, works great with memory wire. So if you want to just put together some, you know, some really cool, like random bead designs, dump out this tube and just go at it with the memory wire, string it all up, instant gratification. You don't even have to have a pattern, right? You can just thread these on in no particular order and come up with something great. Or you can use your bead mat here and you can separate out all the colors and put your individual colors here in the little container sections. They're not really containers, but you know what I mean. The little separator sections here, and you could use a pattern that way very easily. So super cool. Love that. All right. I know I'm going kind of fast through these. Okay, listen, you're way too close. I don't have enough room to clean up now. I'll move you out of the way just a little bit. Hey, Eric's here. Hey, Eric. I hope you're having a good week. It's Friday. It's over. Hooray! Weekend is here. Almost here. All right, so this is a really pretty one. Right? All right, and then I have another one. Now this one is size 8 seed beads, and this is one of my favorites. I adore this one. This one is called Sandy Beaches, and look at the colors in this one. This is definitely giving beachy vibes. So there's a really pretty like soft cream, clear cream color in here, a couple of different blues, and then this like metallic blue green that really creates some nice depth in here. It's a big tube of seed beads, but these are 8s. So these are a little bit bigger than the ones that I just showed you, which were 11s. Really gorgeous color combination here. These are going to be great for spacers. So any of the blends that you see in today's show, if you want to get even more length out of your blends, popping some seed beads in between them is a great way to do that. I don't know if you noticed or not, but that's the way that I spaced out my designs, was with some seed beads. So where I didn't have a whole lot of the faceted beads, adding the seed beads in between them helps to make your bigger beads go even further. So you can see with this one, I put like 4 seed beads in between. Really nice way to space things out. And they're just pretty all by themselves. So again, you can separate them out, put them in the little separators out here, or you can create some really cool random pattern designs with just the mix itself. Hi, Katie. How are you? Never late, never late. We're just hanging out talking about beads today. I don't have a project today. I do have a project next week, so if you are looking forward to another project, don't worry. Next week, we're talking all about stringing. So we're going to be looking at some really cool bead stringing wire, crimping, some crimp tools, and we'll have some findings variety packs, and we're going to be doing all kinds of stringing. So definitely want to come hang out next Friday. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to go through these as quickly as I can because there are a lot of them, but I cannot stop singing the praises of our designer blends. So this one is a little bit smaller. All the designer blends are going to be a little bit different, right? Some of them are bigger than others, and you're definitely going to see the price difference on those. So just keep that in mind. This one is a smaller blend than the one that I showed you to start out the show. This one is so pretty. I love this. So this one has some beautiful greens in it and some fantastic focals. So I'm obsessed with the little pears. I know you guys know, we've been talking about fruit for weeks now because fruit beads, we have our fruit friendship kit. We have some little fruit charms that are in it. I've put together like some little cherry bracelets and some little grape bracelets with different kinds of beads. Fruit charms and fruit beads, in just fruit in general, is everywhere in jewelry for spring and summer. So love those. Those are adorable. There's some leaves in here. These guys almost look like little pineapples. So there's that one. And then there is the clear with the AB finish, and then a nice selection of seed beads to create some space between your designs. Really cute little mix here. If you like, you know, you add some fruit to your designs. I love this one. This one also has some really pretty check fire polish in it as well. Love, 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 love. I love it. Carrie Ann says it looks like steak. It does. It looks like steak you put on the grill. That's funny. And again, using my bead mat and my bead scoop to clean this up quick and easy so that we can move on to the next. So I didn't have to have a million bowls on the desk today for all of these. All right, let's take a look at another one. So somebody asked about some of the ones that were on Shop LC. Guess what? I got you covered. Got you covered. I have the leaves right here. These were on Shop LC. So if you wanted the leaf blend, I have that right here. So this is a beautiful mix of a ton of different kinds of checked glass leaves. I adore leaf and flower beads. Those are some of my very favorite styles of checked glass beads to get ever. And I love this mix because this one has green leaves in it. They're not just brown. A lot of times, I don't know, I feel like the browns, maybe they're easier to make. I don't really know. But the brown colors, the tans and the taupes and things in the check glass leaves are very, very common. I feel like it's a little bit harder to get your hands on different shades of green. And the green are the ones that I want for the spring and summertime designs. So I love this mix because it has a little bit of everything in it. There are some that are drilled top to bottom. So you can see the drill hole on this one goes from the top to the bottom. So you can very easily put this one onto a head pin or an eye pin, string it onto your bead stringing wire and use it that way. And then some of them are drilled across the top, briolette style. So you can see this one is drilled, see the drill hole there. So this one is drilled across the top. So you can do a little bit of wire wrapping if you want to use this on wire, or you can string it and it's going to hang. So I love that there is both included here. So some are drilled one way and some are drilled the other way. And you also have a lot of different shapes and colors to choose from. So there are the green, bigger leaves. These are drilled across the top, and this one has like dark green and light green. There are some that are drilled top to bottom in blue and purple, which I think is really cool. There are some brown ones in here, the orange ones. Those are going to be great for fall. Couple of different shapes here. So I love a leaf blend, and this is a really, really beautiful one. Carrie Ann says steak and fruit. I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm gonna pick these up and put these back in the bag because we have a lot more to look at. So pretty. All right. moving on to the next. All right, now, if you want some fun pops of color, I got you covered. Check this out. This one is probably the most brightly colored blend that I have. This one is really awesome. More leaves. So if you love leaves, this one definitely has green leaves in it. And these are front drilled, so you can take a jump ring through there. Probably a 6mm jump ring would fit, and then you have like an instant dangle with this one. Or you can, you know, thread it onto your wire or whatever you want to. But if you want it to be front facing, I would probably put a jump ring on it. Or you can wire wrap, create a wrapped loop, and then hang it whichever direction that you want to. But I love that. I love that. Now, that's not the only bead that is drilled that way in this mix. So the big red beads are drilled the same way, which is really cool, because I can see this as like alternating here. Like, pretend those are apples, or maybe they're some sort of cherry or some other kind of fruit, and hang. Perfect for this time of year, and definitely trending. I adore this entire mix. This color palette is perfect for spring and summer, but this is really, really trendy right now. And if you don't believe me, just go Google fruit jewelry, because it will come up everywhere. You guys know I have a strawberry bracelet that I wear on a regular basis. Like, this stuff is really, really popular, and this mix is perfect for that. And you get a ton of it, so you don't have to just order like an individual little bead. You've got a ton of these to play with. I love the yellow coin beads in this. They're really, really pretty. They kind of have like a retro feel to them. There are some white beads in here as well, which are really nice, and they are drilled this direction, so they're not square. They're going to be a diamond for you, which is really nice. There's some larger ones, and then there are some little pops of blue, and these beads are really interesting to me. They are, I don't know, they kind of remind me of seashells a little bit. I'm not sure what these are officially called, but they have that really cool texture to them, and it's just an interesting shape all around. Really, really cool. This definitely has a very vintage vibe to it, but is very, very timely, because like I said, fruit jewelry and just fruit in general is everywhere right now. I even saw the other day that strawberry shortcake was trending. Anybody remember strawberry shortcake? Like, she has her own like food right now. I don't even know. It's just kind of random, but there are also some beautiful seed beads included in this to create some space. So another beautiful, beautiful blend. Eric says it looks like fat clams. They do. They do look like fat clams. That's crazy. I like it. I like it. It look like chiclets. These do for sure. Don't chew them though. If you guys ever had like a pile of candy on your bead mat and a pile of beads and reached for the wrong thing, I have. I don't recommend. Don't recommend. That's why my bead mats are always dirty, is because I always have like some sort of snack on my bead mat with my beads. Never stay very clean because of that. All right. Moving on to the next. Okay, so now we do have Memorial Day coming up, and that means red, white, and blue. It's the first dose of red, white, and blue, right? Because we do Memorial Day first, and then we do the 4th of July. So getting a jump start on all of that, we have this really cool red, white, and blue designer blend. I love this one. First of all, it's a nice big hearty blend. There's a lot of beads to work with here, but lots of different cool shapes, and I love the stars. The stars are my absolute favorite. I love a cut glass star bead, but then there are also some little flowers that are center drilled. They're sort of like a little forget-me-not or the daisy spacers, but these are more star shaped. So pretty. So those are going to create some really fun designs. And then there are the lighter blue that has the AB finish on it. Really, really pretty. There are some white disc beads in here as well, and some red This is a really fun mix. So even if you don't want to do a patriotic design, this is a great way to bulk up your white beads, because we've talked about it before. I love the rondelles. These are so pretty. We've talked about how white beads just don't get enough love. And when you need white beads, it never fails, you don't have them. This is a great mix because you've got a lot of different shapes and sizes of white beads in this. So maybe just separate them out. There are red in here, some really beautiful red flowers. There's also some little clear druck beads in here. So even if you don't want to mix them all together to do red, white, and blue, maybe red and white, maybe blue and white. The blue and white is great for what they're calling this season fisherman chic, which cracks me up, but it's basically nautical style. So the blue and white's great for the nautical style. You can separate your reds out, or you keep it all together, right? And make something super festive and patriotic. I love it. This is an absolutely beautiful mix. I love the ovals. Like, I don't think there's a bead in this that I don't like. So pretty. Really, really lovely. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, let's scoop it up. I love the scooping part of this, I'm not gonna lie. It's the whole reason I did it. Oh my gosh, look, there's little drops. Look at the little red drops. I'm telling you, every time I look at these blends, I find something new that I didn't see before. They're so nice. Little drop, I love it, I love it. I saw a different flower in here too a second ago, but now I don't see it again. I think I already put it in the bag, but there's a different shaped flower. Really pretty. Everybody grab your bead shovels, okay? This bead mat and bead scoop combo is fantastic. So I definitely recommend. By the end of the show, I will have scooped up all these beads and convinced you that if you don't have one of these, you desperately need one. All right, moving on to the next. You hear the dog snoring? Oh gosh, sorry. Oh yeah, that's Xena. She's always snoring. Okay, now this is going to be kind of weird that I included this. I included a Christmas mix, and I know it's not Christmas. However, I love to look at the Christmas mixes and think of ways that I can use these in a different way. So I'm going to dump out one of our Christmas blends, and we're going to take a look at it, and I want you to not think about Christmas when you don't think about Christmas. Resist the urge. Now listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with thinking about Christmas and planning in advance if you want to. A lot of times we do some Christmas in July celebrations and we try to get you started. It's not quite July yet. I know I'm a little early. But there's nothing wrong with getting a jump start on your holiday designs, because we all know that, you know, summer gets here within the next few weeks, and then before you know it, it's over and the holidays literally are here. So getting a head start on those designs is fine. But if you don't want to and you're not ready to think about that, then don't look at it that way. Don't look at it that way. Just look at this as a really beautiful mix, because there are some really interesting beads in here. There are some round beads that are clear but have like this really cool red swirl through them, which I think is really nice. These do not have to be used in Christmas designs. You can separate all of these out and use them in something else. Red is always a good choice, right? Green is always a good choice. You can pull out all of these really cool green beads, right? Those are beautiful. Mix these with your fruit beads. Mix these with some of those crystal blends. Where's one of those crystals? Let's see. Any of these, right? Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. There's nothing Christmas about this. We've got the Garden Glory. We have these gorgeous check glass beads that we've pulled from this. We can even pull some of these guys into that as well and create just some really fun designs. So don't limit yourself. Just because it is Christmas colors doesn't mean that it has to be. There are some of these guys that were similar to the red ones in that previous mix that we looked at with the bright colors, where it's drilled in the front. So these are going to be really cool front facing beads depending on how you use them. Red drucks, you can always use a good red round bead. Make some cherries. Make some really cool cherry designs out of those. There are even some yellows in here, so you could do like little lemons if you wanted to. There are some seashells in here, which are 100% not Christmassy. So you could even get some beachy vibes out of this. So definitely don't just scroll past on the website when you're shopping. Don't scroll past the Christmas stuff, because a lot of times it can play double duty and it can really be used in a lot of different ways. There are so many different shapes and textures here. I think you'll have a lot of fun creating with these. Look at those little cubes. I like it. I love it. Eric says he's going to call this his sangria mix. I see sangrias here for sure. So it doesn't have to be Christmas. And you can even pull the Christmas trees out and just save them, right? They don't have to be Christmas trees. I mean, you could use your imagination and make them something else, or you could just save these, right? There's even some red ones too, by the way. So I like it. I like it. I think it's definitely more than just Christmas. I don't know what I did with the bag for it though. Here it is. So pretty. See? Eric, he's always thinking. He says those are not Christmas trees, they're mint leaves, right? Yeah. I think Eric's ready for a drink. He must have had a long week. He's got sangrias and mojitos on the brain. It's funny because Q is in here with me, and I just said that, and Q whispered. Some of you might have heard it. He goes, yes. It is 5 o'clock somewhere, guys. It's almost 5 o'clock here. It's funny. I should make Q come over here and do a bead mix to show you all. I don't think he's ever talked on camera. He says no. Okay, fine. Fine. Party pooper. All right, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I got 6 more to go. You guys. Ugh. Okay, here we go. Katie says, Christmas, what? No, Katie, think sangrias. Think mojitos. Think anything but Christmas, okay? Anything but Christmas. All right, this is a really pretty one. I love the mint in this one. We looked at some of these in that very first mix that we looked at that had the ladybugs in it. Well, there are the same beads, these guys, just in a different color in this mix. This is a really, really pretty mix of minty, kind of turquoise colored beads. Look at the drucks in this one. They have 2 different kinds. There's like this orangey red. It's almost like creamsicle. And then this one is very like mint. It reminds me of like Thin Mints, even though Thin Mints are actually brown cookies, but you know what I mean. Come on now. I like these as well. These table cuts. So pretty. Now, just a reminder to everybody, a couple of reminders actually, but first reminder is that these designer blends, I know I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. These are all hand curated by our design team. These beautiful check glass beads, this is first run. Some of these are vintage. They have not seen the light of day since they were packaged up and shipped over from the Czech. So you are 100% the first people that are going to be creating with these. These have not been pulled over and culled out, and you know, they've not been pulled through. These are exactly as they left the factory where they were made in the Czech Republic, and then we unboxed them in the warehouse, and then our design team put together these gorgeous blends and hand selected and curated these mixes. So somebody sat and thought, you know what, I can see a beautiful piece of jewelry out of this. I bet somebody else can too. So we put them all together, and that's how these designer blends were created. Now, a lot of these are in very limited quantities. So once they're gone for good, because we've already moved on, right? We've already gone to the warehouse again and created a new set of blends that will be coming your way. So we'll never recreate these. So get them while the getting's good, they say, right? So grab them up, because once they sell out, there's no way to get them. You may be able to find the beads individually somewhere, somehow, maybe, and you may find similar beads in other designer blends, but these mixes in particular, you're not going to see again. So you definitely want to take advantage of them when we have them. All right, moving on to the next. Now, I do want to also remind you guys that you can shop with us very, very easily by clicking on that shopping bag on the side of your screen. It's going to bring up all of the items in today's show. So not just the beads, but all of the memory wire, the bead mat that has this really handy scoop that I'm using today, the memory wire cutter, and everything that was in the show is just a click away. If you are joining us from Facebook, you have that little text bar in the top of your screen. You can type in the codes for each one of the items, and we're going to send you a link directly to your messenger that'll take you directly to the website. Makes it easy no matter where you are shopping from. But we do love having you over here on artbeads.com to watch so that we can chat with you in the chat here. And if you've got questions, that's a great place to ask. Be sure though that you are also signing up for the Art Beads newsletter, and that you are also part of our Facebook group, because the conversation continues, right? This community is amazing. So the community, we chat here in the show and then continue to chat over on Facebook, and being part of the newsletter keeps you up to date with everything that we have going on. And trust me, you don't want to miss out on anything, because we got some pretty amazing things coming your way. All right, so here is another blend for you guys. I wish that I knew what the name of this one was, but it is definitely given a little bit of Christmas vibes, but I do want you to, again, kind of suspend that thought, get rid of that, and let's think about using these beads in other ways. Beautiful red. I know these are vintage. These are vintage shot glass coin beads with the moon and stars on them. There are some of these swirly beads, which I adore. Those are so pretty. There are some really cool shapes in here. These deep greens with the gold. These are really pretty. There are those guys. So pretty. Winter night mix. Sandy says New Year's Eve. That's definitely what this is kind of making me feel. There's a lot of seed beads in this one. So this one's going to be a really cool mixture of these larger beads with the seed beads. There are also some really small druck beads in this as well, which are these guys right here. So that looks like a 4mm and a 3mm. I might have that wrong, but they're pretty small, which are going to be nice little spacers as well. This is just a really cool mix. I love anything with pops of gold in it, especially this kind of muted gold. It's not like a yellow orangey weird gold. It's like a really nice color. All right, so there's that one. Super pretty. I don't think this one is coming across on camera as pretty as it actually is in person. Because on the mat, it just looks kind of messy, but I promise this is really beautiful in person. Really is. I love the pops of red that are in this. It's really fun. I'm thinking memory wire, you could make some really cool cuff bracelets. Right, you could do like color blocking with the drucks. So you could do like 5 or 6 of the gold and then 5 or 6 of the cream. And then you could pop in some of these little guys. That's why I put memory wire in this show, because I feel like the memory wire and these blends is a great way to sit and play. We've talked a lot lately. I had a conversation earlier today, and I had a conversation last week about it actually with Becky, about how not everybody is really good at color. A lot of us have to learn how to do that. I was one of those people. I was not very good at using color. I had to really practice at it. I had to study. I had to really kind of grow in my confidence with mixing colors and creating with color confidently. So the blends are a great way to do that. And the memory wire is great because you can thread it all onto the memory wire. You don't even have to put the loops on the end yet. You can see what it all looks like before you commit to a design. And then if you don't like it, just dump it all off the memory wire and start over again. So it's a really nice exercise in getting yourself familiar with different bead shapes and sizes and the colors, because some of us really struggle with that. So it's a good way to get better at that. All right. Let's see, moving on to the next. I only have 4 more for you. All right, now this one is a fun pop of yellow. Love this. Check this out. This also has some really cool beads in it. All right, so beautiful little yellow mix here. I love it. The yellows, you could use these as little lemons. You could just use them as, they're just a pretty bead. I mean, look at them. It's not just yellow. It's yellow with like this really cool kind of pearlescence to it, which is really nice. So pretty. And then these guys, little check fire polish in like the softest jonquil yellow color. And dagger beads and the leaves. What's really fun is that there are some little frogs in this, which I think are super cute. It is that time of year again. I don't know if you have frogs where you live, but we have tons of frogs where we live. And this time of year, you can hear them. They start to sing their little froggy songs. We have lots of tree frogs out here and just general frogs that just like to hang out. We have a creek that runs by our house. And we have a pool, which is a nice place for frogs to hang out, they think. But it is definitely that time of year. They're not quite annoying yet, right? Give me another month and ask me how the frogs are, and I'll be pulling my hair out. But right now, they're just starting to barely sing their song. You can hear them in the evenings, or you can hear it when it rains. Now, again, in another month, they're going to be driving me absolutely insane because they won't be quiet. But at the moment, it's just peaceful. And these guys are so cute. I love them. They're super, super cute. What a fun little mix, right? I love that. So you got your little frogs, you got your little leaves, and all of your little yellows. Like, I could create a really fun design with those. I think those are super, super cute. All right, moving on. Nicole says her backyard is Jurassic Park. Yeah, I would say that that's true. While we were in Florida, there were parrots everywhere. There were geckos everywhere. There were iguanas everywhere. Not to mention the fact that you have alligators. I agree, Nicole. Your backyard is Jurassic Park. 100%. 100%. All right. Now, this is a mix that makes me think of Becky. Every time I see this mix, I think of Becky because Becky loves all things Egyptian. And this is definitely one of those fabulous Egyptian feeling mixes. I love it. I love all of these like caramel colors running through this, and then this like deep blue that's like lapis blue. So pretty. Really, really beautiful. So these are super interesting, right? These could be like little mummies. They're not, but they could be. I mean, you don't know. Maybe they are mummies. I don't know. There's some little triangle beads in here with that AB finish on them. There's some really interesting blue shapes. Love those. There are tons of seed beads in here to work with, and then some of the flower beads. The little triangles come in a couple of different colors. So there's like the honey color, and then the blue, which is really, really pretty. Love that. And you can see the little flowers are also in this like topaz color, and the clear as well as the blue. A lot of really cool choices in this mix. Really, really pretty. I think my favorite bead that's in these though are the drucks. I don't know, there's just something about those that are really, really cool. Very interesting. Love this mix. This is another great one just to thread it onto some memory wire, right? You don't have to overthink it. There's no reason to overthink it. And I think these triangle beads on memory wire are going to be really cool. They're going to add some really fun texture and dimension to your designs. Okay, clean these up. We've got 2 more to go, and then we are done for the day, which is good because we are right at our hour mark, and I don't want to keep you guys much longer because it is 5 o'clock here. 5 o'clock, which means that the weekend is upon us. So clean this one up real quick. We've got 2 more. And just a reminder to all of you, please set your reminders for 4 p.m. Eastern every Friday if you want to come and hang out with me. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be doing stringing projects next week. We're going to be taking a look at some beautiful wire kits in mocha, which is that beautiful color of the year, our Pantone color of the year. We're going to be talking findings variety packs. We're going to be talking crimping, and we're going to put together some just really fun, easy stringing projects. So one step above our memory wire is our bead stringing. So if you want to come and hang out next Friday where we actually do a project, we will be creating. All right. How about some pink? Got some pink and then some blue to finish off our show today. This one's really pretty. This is giving Barbie vibes for sure. My favorite bead in this are these. Look at these. They're so fabulous. So these are big, really nice sized coin beads that are clear with that AB finish. They're so pretty. I love that. Like, I want to wire wrap one of these and just turn it into a ring. So pretty. All right, bellflowers, another one of my top picks for bead shapes because I love flowers and leaves, but the bellflower, I have a very deep love with the bellflower beads because you can wire wrap the top of them. They're super cute. There are some really interesting shapes in here. Check that out. Love that. There are some little coins. There are some of the crescents, which I also love. These are really cool for creating little flowers with because they look like the little leaves at the bottom of your flowers. There are these guys that look like candy. There's some oval shaped pinks in here as well. This is a really beautiful mix. There are even leaves in here. So you can see this little pink leaf right here. This is a really nice mix for spring. If you love pink, this is definitely going to be a fun one to create with. So pretty. Love that. Moni says, love it. Katie says, I like that pink a lot. Me too. Debbie says, I want them all, but my wallet doesn't. Listen, I can appreciate that. I know all about how that goes, right? I like these the little spacers. They're so cute. Beautiful mix here. Beautiful. Now guys, don't remember. Please don't forget. Oh my goodness. Please don't forget about our deal of the week, which are some fantastic Mother's Day charms. There's some slider charms. Definitely check those out. Add those to your cart as well. We love our deal of the week here on Art Beads, so you want to take advantage of those. They're super cool. Mother's Day is right around the corner, and this is the perfect time to grab some of those charms to create a personalized piece of jewelry for a Mother's Day project. All right, I'm down to the very last one, you guys. Last one. This one comes in a cute little tin and is this most beautiful blue. Love. Is that not gorgeous? This screams swimming pool to me. Can you tell I have summer on the brain? Look at that. I love the spacers. They're so cute. These little flat disc beads, and then the little baby drucks that are in here. There are some really beautiful blues with that milky kind of texture running through them. Those look like candy. They're so pretty. And then there's some pops of black in this to really give this kind of a moody edge, which I think is cool. They go really cool, or they go really well with the blue bead that has that black running through it as well. This is really interesting. I love that. There are some leaves in here that are clear, so if you want those shapes, there are some little shells as well, if I can pick those up. Aren't those pretty? Love those. Perfect for summertime. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Everybody loves blue. This is definitely an interesting one. Look at how that's drilled right in the center. You could layer this up with some other beads. I think that's very cool, very different. I think that'll be a lot of fun to create with. There are some drops in here. Really cool mix. Love that. All right, guys. So that is it for all the mixes. And just a quick reminder that we did have memory wire in the show as well. So it's a great opportunity to add all the rest of the things to your cart and to check out while you're watching. You don't want to miss out and come back to your cart later and have some of the items be sold out, because, you know, as I mentioned, a lot of this is in limited quantities. We only have so many of them, and once they're gone for good. And if you walk away from your cart for even just the smallest amount of time, when you come back, sometimes those items are gone. So don't wait too long to grab up the designer blends that you like the most, because chances are if you like them the most, somebody else does, and you're probably racing against each other to get those. Also have this really cool bead mat in the show as well, with the edging that's going to keep your beads from rolling off, and the little spacers here. Just a nice little addition if you're thinking about it. You saw how much I use the bead scoop. I use this on a regular basis. Listen, I use this so much that I actually have 2 of them on my desk, now 3, because I have this one too, but I use them all the time. I use them every single day for cleanup, because it's just quick and easy, and it means that I don't have to spend a whole lot of time messing with, you know, picking up individual beads by hand or anything like that. I'm gonna turn you guys around here just so that we can take a couple minutes before we go, so that we can see each other. See you. I see you. I see you, Nicole. Nicole, I hope you liked the purple sparkle that I had in the show today. It made me think of you for sure. All right, everybody. So I am going to go. It is the end of the week for me. It is after 5 here for me, and if it is not for you, it will be shortly. So you guys have an amazing rest of your weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for letting me be a part of your beadie journey. I will be back with you next week on Friday, same time, same place. Create a fun stringing design with you guys. We're going to deep dive into crimping, so be ready. And if you're not ready, I'm going to get you ready, because I've got bead stringing wire and findings and tools, and we're going to put together something fun. We might even use one of these designer blends to create a nice little project. So let's do it. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter, and to be sure that you are checking out all of the other amazing designers on the design team and their lives throughout the week. We always have something fun for you to watch, to check out, and to shop on. So have an amazing one. I will see you next week. I love you.